ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday. Cyber Monday? It is Cyber Monday, right? Have any of you found any amazing deals? I hope so. But this is no charge here. The Pickup Lines is still free. This is Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Firm. And you know, Gamez Law, even on Cyber Monday, fights. I'm excited because today's guest knows a thing or two about boxing gloves. We are standing by. The great Gamez Leija will join me momentarily live here in the vehicle to talk about what he was just doing moments ago and how he's kept busy all these years since retirement and still looking amazing. I'm going to ask him about that. What's his secret to not aging? Because the man does not age. But nonetheless, great to have you along. Please take a look at my amazing sponsors, including, let me give a little love today. You like the Pickup Lines drip? This shirt right here, I love this. It's a beautiful pink shirt. Courtesy of my friend Phil Zavala at Image Avenue Clothiers in Wonderland of the Americas Mall. So Phil has taken great care of me for many years with my work in Ray Feo and different things like that. But this shirt is compliments of Phil, and I appreciate that very much. And again, would invite you anytime, men, women, children of all ages, for all of your clothing, apparel needs. Need something a little dressy, need a tuxedo, a cocktail dress, whatever the case may be. Go see. How about this? A sash. He is the king of sashes for Fiesta. Go see Phil at Image Avenue Clothiers. So we're standing by for Gamez Law here. I hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I'm blessed. I mean, obviously, I have a lot to be thankful for this year, including this show, including this audience. Those of you who are coming on right now, I'd love for you to comment. I'm reading comments on here. And if you could just indulge me and share this video. So many of you have done that. And just one click of the button makes a huge difference in terms of getting the show out to a larger audience, and helps me, helps our guest, and hopefully helps people who hopefully enjoy what I'm doing and enjoy this kind of content. So if you have any questions for Gamez Law, again, we're standing by. So he just finished at 1 o'clock. So we're at his gym, by the way, right off of Broadway. And he was in with a client, doing a one-on-one training session. They just finished up, and so James is gonna, I think, change shirts and towel off and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I was just tired in there watching him, and I didn't even do a thing. But James has told me I need to come to his gym, I need to work out, and he's 100% right. I gotta, maybe 2024 will be the year of me, where I just make more time for me, to take care of my health. And anyway, we'll see what happens. But again, I hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I did my share of eating, but tried to be responsible. But I think the crazy part was this was the first Thanksgiving in, I don't know if it's 25 years, because I might have worked one time in 25 years, but the first time in many, many years where I did not have to work on Thanksgiving Day, right? I was always at the TV station in the mornings, and I'd be done by 9, 10, or noon, whatever, and then I could still go home and eat, but I was always at the TV station. So this past Thanksgiving, last Thursday, I got to wake up, do whatever. As a matter of fact, I take that back. I didn't do whatever. Two of my kids and I went to the Raul Jimenez Thanksgiving dinner. And let me salute Patricia Jimenez, who was in this seat not too long ago, for an amazing job. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring him in. World champion, among many other things. The great Gamez Law is here. Thank you. I mean, literally, I was inside. I got tired watching you do the session with your client in there.
Tough sessions. I've been doing this for, actually 18 years since I retired. And so I've been doing this for so long, and I always tell people, these are my world title fights now. When I see people train hard, get the best out of themselves. I have 78-year-old lady in here. I have guys with Parkinson's. I have women and men of all ages, from 6 years old to 83 years old. And they do it all. You saw what the guy
I didn't know. Well, the jump rope. That guy had the jump rope in there flying around, which I'm told. See, I don't have a lot of coordination. That's my problem. But the jump rope is very effective.
You don't have because you don't do it. That's why.
Wait a minute.
We can get you dancing.
Wait a minute. Stop telling the truth, James. It's great to see you. You know, you're one of these people that I ran into over the years doing TV and everything, and it's, you know, at events or whatever, we see each other for a minute or two, say hello. But I've always been fascinated by your career, and I did a little digging because you're, if my math is correct, you're about 10 years older than me, but you look 20 years younger than me. And
I don't know about 20.
No, I do know. I do. I mean,
it's a great hair. I don't.
Well, get out of here. Get out of here. I was just talking about, you know, the Gamez family, Joe Gamez, and they sponsored me here, and I know you have a relationship with them, and I understand. Is it in January or here right beginning of the year? You've got a big event, boxing event.
We have a huge event that's coming up here in January 13th at Tech Port Arena, where we have businessmen and businesswomen fighting each other. So they're training with us for the last 2 or 3 months. And they get into the ring and they'll fight each other just like it's an amateur bout. And so we're getting this ready. We have some pretty big names that are going to fight.
I heard. Are there elected officials like?
Well,
or can you even say? Like, I don't.
So far, I don't want to say it now. But yeah, there's a state senator that's going to fight.
Yeah, I heard. Somebody told me that there are. I don't know if it's city council members or there are elected officials.
Yes,
people you would recognize.
A city council person right now, and well, I could tell you, Sook's her name.
Dr. Kaur.
Yeah, that's
Sook Kaur.
She's fighting.
District 1.
Yep.
So
she's fighting one of our clients here at the gym, and
what?
Yes, Lauren Fisher. So she's fighting Lauren Fisher. It's gonna be a tough fight. Lauren Fisher is 52 years old, and Sook is 35 or 36 years old. That's gonna be a tough fight. They're both works, but they're in here training every day. So
what?
Yeah.
Now, is this for charity or?
It's for charity. So what we did this year was, because we did this back in the day, we were just training clients back in the day and having these fights in 2016. I think was the last one. We stopped doing it. Someone else was doing it. They just hired us to do the training. And now we said, man, these events are so nice, and everyone loved it. It was the talk of San Antonio.
Yeah.
We said, we haven't had that in a long time. So we brought it up ourselves. We're doing it again. And this is the first one of many to come for us that we're doing ourselves. And so we have, we have so many clients. One of our other clients is, I'm trying to think of the plumber. My mind went blank.
Elmer?
Elmer the plumber.
Elmer Zubiate, I believe, is his last name.
Yes, he's going to fight on the event. And,
what?
And we have a fighter for him, and he's a big boy.
He is. I see him on the commercials.
He's 6'4", 260.
Is he that? I didn't know he was that tall.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah. And,
so heavyweight then.
And he's heavyweight, super heavyweight division. Yeah, but it's so exciting to have these guys, and they come in, they train, they do everything a boxer would do, and they train. They're like, wow, this is amazing. And they thought they were in shape, and then they realized, no, I'm not this type of shape.
I hear from, you hear about it now, Micah Parsons, he's big-time NFL players. I know you worked with Victor Wembanyama. Professional athletes on professional teams who either go to boxing or MMA or some kind of fighting to get in even better shape. I know Micah Parsons was talking about the hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, it's so much hand-eye coordination, but I think Popovich has had us doing this for so long now. We started in '99, the lockout year. We started that year, and then we stopped, and then we started again when I retired, and it's been every summer since.
I remember because I got to San Antonio in '99, and Duncan was in his second season, I believe.
I think so.
And you had not retired yet.
No, I retired to 05.
05.
Yeah.
So you was at the Alamo Dome or their old practice. They used to practice with Trinity or whatever. I don't remember. They practiced somewhere else. Not where they practice now. And so Pop brings you in, or how does that happen?
Well, the way it happened is he had one of the trainers call us, or they called me, and to find out if we could do it, that we can train. First of all, the '99 year, the lockout year, they had me, since the Spurs weren't allowed to go into training facilities during that time because it was still locked out.
It was a lockout, yeah.
But they wanted them to get in shape or stay in shape, so they had to do my running programs. And my running program was at Alamo Stadium, and I was doing all my speed work there. So it would look funny because I was doing my work. I'm still fighting, and I'm still doing my stuff, so they would just do it with me. So I'm running down
up and down the stands?
Yeah, the field, the football field, up and down the stands. We did everything.
No, I've done the stands before.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, we used to do that all the time when, I'm 5'5", and you saw, Tim Duncan and Will Perdue and all them next to me running, and you know,
6 stairs at a time, going up and down with their strides and everything.
But that was, it's so fun for me because I'm a Spurs fan. I'm a huge Spurs fan, and to be able to train these guys and be part of the team and doing some of the stuff that we do with them, and it's not always just for hand-eye coordination. It's for mental toughness and mental stress release, or whatever it is that boxing adds to it. Most of my clients that come in here do it for the release of stress.
Just hit something.
And they go home and their husbands or wives call me and say, "Thank you so much." They're so much easier to come home to now, and the whole bit. It's just. But boxing is an amazing sport that teaches so much. One of my clients has MS,
multiple sclerosis.
Yes, and trains with me 3 times a week, religiously now for the first 5 years, and he does great. You would never know it that he has MS. Never know it. Because he does everything. Jump rope, floor drills, basketball. We do basketball drills. We do weights. We do everything. Boxing, hand-eye coordination, the mitts, double end bag, and they're getting everything out of it.
Keeps the brain just firing
always
nonstop.
Firing. Parkinson's and MS.
Yeah, no, I saw a video a few months back. You were at the new Victory Capital, whatever that Spurs place with Victor Wembanyama on the court. It looks like you were doing some drills. Same thing. They just reached out to you when he was drafted, or how did that happen?
Oh no, the Spurs every year we didn't do this since 2005.
Ongoing.
I think we're going 19 years now. I think it's 19 or 20.
Something like that. Yeah.
Every summer we're there for 2 or 3 months, and they call us, and we just go sometimes twice a week, sometimes once a week. They call us when they have we're always on the schedule though. We're always on the schedule with them, and so it's just fun to go out there and First of all, when we went with Victor. When we went out there, we didn't know he was a Dominican. He came up, "No, I'm part of this too. Like, put my gloves on." I said, "You can do this." And I look around, I look for Pop, "Is it okay?"
Is it okay?
No one said anything. So he picked up so fast. And I'm like, no wonder this guy is a phenom. He just picks up everything. And the only guy that picked up that fast before was Manu.
Ginobili.
Manu picked it up so fast, and actually the first day Manu did it, he was laying on the ring, tired, and he's just like not so tired. He was on the floor. He goes, "I'll be back. I'll be back." The next time he came, he never got tired again.
I feel like, did Victor bulk up? I don't know when you started working with him, but from when he was drafted to when the season started, it looks like he bulked up a little bit, right?
I don't know. That wasn't on our part. We were just teaching the hand-eye coordination movements, toughness, mental toughness, and I'm hitting them too. I'm hitting them to the body and stuff. And
because when he's in the lane, whatever, you get elbowed and you're getting
and he has to get used to it. And he's a small guy for being as tall as he is.
For sure,
he's a small person, but small.
His frame and everything.
His frame is small, and he's gonna bulk up. He's only 19 years old.
No, I know. You forget. He's a kid.
He's a kid. He's a kid, and so he's 19 years old. And I think 2 or 3 years he's gonna bulk up more, especially living here in San Antonio with all the Mexican food. He'll gain some weight in no time. I was telling him, "Hey, let my aunt cook for him. He'll gain weight quick."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, exactly. I just see right here. That's exactly how it works. So I have these gloves here and everything, just with Gamez Law Firm and everything. When's the last time you were hit? Like hit?
Well,
with one of these.
I used to spar with a lot of my clients.
Yeah.
I spar with a lot of them, and I don't spar so much anymore. I'm 57 years old, and so I just don't want to get hit anymore. Not that it just, for me, is because when you train with clients, you're not going 100%.
No.
So when you're not going 100%, you tend to get hit more because sometimes your best defense is your offense.
Right.
And I'm not hitting my clients, so they're hitting me with everything.
Well, yeah, they're paying you. You don't want to pop them in.
Yeah, and plus, they're hitting me, so now I don't want to keep getting hit or
Yeah.
I'm always blocked and punched, but I don't do this much anymore. But every once in a while, I get in the ring and let them hit me a little bit.
And there've been a couple of times I've been hit in the head, which might explain how I turned out a couple times over the years. Not with a boxing glove, just accidents or whatever. But to get hit like that, I mean, how do you describe that feeling when somebody connects?
The way I guess it feels is when you get hit unexpectedly so hard in the head that all you see is stars and rings and
literally
and everything. Yeah, and that's how it feels. And you're dizzy, or maybe in a car accident.
Or that's a good point.
Car accident, you're shook up so bad that you have no idea where you're at.
Your adrenaline kicks in, and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So you went to Harlandale, right?
Went to Harlandale, graduated in 1984. 84.
Oh, you said 84. I think you said 94. Because I graduated in 94. But I was like, hey, if you say 94, I'm not going to fight you on that. No, I was thinking we were about 10 years apart. And I know over the years, the nickname Jesse James was not the outlaw. I know it's a nod to your dad.
Yes, it was, yeah.
But how often do people call you Jesse, and does that bother you?
I think probably about 75% of people call me Jesse.
I've heard it in public.
Yeah, everyone. I go by Jesse all the time. You know, yes, people call me that. But I would say the people that know me personally, have been around me for a long time, they know it's James and they call me James. But the random person or someone that doesn't know me as long, or they call me Jesse. But I go by both.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're cool with it. Like
I'm
it doesn't
proud
bother
of it.
you.
Yeah, I'm proud. Yeah, because they know me by Jesse's because they're through boxing and being around here at the gym. But I go by both.
But I get that some people might think, oh, it's the Outlaw or whatever, the Western, Jesse James, that, but that was not the case.
Well, my manager at the beginning liked the Texas Outlaw from Texas, Jesse James. It had more of a ring to it.
Okay.
And I was doing it in honor of my dad the whole time. And plus, he was my trainer, so I went to do it for him.
You did Golden Gloves, right, and everything. Was that when you were at Harlandale?
Yes. Well,
around that time?
I started fighting after high school. I started fighting when I was 19.
But was it always going to be boxing, or at Harlandale were you like thinking something else,
No,
professional career?
Never. Even when I was in high school, I had graduated. Never thought I would be a boxer.
You did not.
It never came into my mind. When I was 19, I got in trouble a little bit, and I was ashamed of what I did, and I wanted to make things better. So I told my parents, I'm going to become a police officer or a firefighter. And I'm going to get myself in shape and start doing this boxing gym. So I bought my own bag, my own double-end bag, put it in my garage, started working out by myself just to get in shape. My dad looked at me, he would come in. They didn't want me to fight. My dad and parents never wanted me to fight, ever.
But your dad already had a background in boxing?
My dad was a professional boxer.
Yeah.
My dad was the first San Antonian to ever make it to the National Golden Gloves Finals in 1958, the first San Antonian. So they didn't want that for me because they knew it's a tough sport. And so when my dad saw me in the gym, in the garage, he would come on and say, maybe you want to do this, maybe do that, and then go inside, just to say he's not training me, right? And then come on and say, maybe you want to keep your hand up and, and go back inside.
Right.
And then after about 2 weeks of this or 3 weeks, he goes, I think you have something. I think we should go to a gym and see what you have, like to a real gym.
Oh my God.
I said, okay, but I was still just thinking I'm going to get in shape to join the police academy.
Right.
2 years later, I'm in the Olympic trials.
Yeah. So, but that's genetics then, right? I mean, like you learn like this and all of that, or is that from your dad?
I don't know.
Or both?
It could be both. It could be it's part of the family thing, where Leija's a fighter. My dad's brother was a great fighter too.
Yeah.
My cousin Louis was a fighter.
Right.
I'm a fighter, but maybe it runs in the blood. Maybe it's just part of that things that I don't know. I can't say.
But that's from a parental perspective. I can appreciate.
Both my sons are great boxers. Both my sons are really good boxers.
And you're cool with that. Like you never had that. Like, I don't want my children to go into this.
I didn't want them to do that either. The same thing as my dad. But when my oldest son James decided to do it, he has 3 fights, but he had so much trouble getting fights and whatever. He goes, I'm done with this. It was it's a dirty sport. It's a business side of it. It's dirty, just like music or whatever. It's just,
not as glamorous as people might think.
Yeah.
But now you're talking about when you came up in the what is it, late 80s or
late 80s, early 90s.
I mean, it's 35 years ago, whatever. Different time, right, for boxing than it is now.
It was a different time, and people, you actually had to fight hard to get to the top. I think now it's more, you still fight hard, but I think now you have lesser opponents to fight to get your way up. Back then, you had to fight good guys. You had to get up there and fight a little bit. I think now it's just a little bit more lax. You get more social media. It helps you expand your name. Can you imagine?
I was going to ask you, what do you think? Would social media have been a good thing for you back then, or not so productive for you? Do you think?
Well, I think it would have been a great thing because my name was already pretty big, and I fought all over the world, and people knew me all over the world, and I had no social media. It was just from the fights that we had on TV, Showtime, HBO, ESPN,
pay-per-view or whatever.
People knew who I was, and even now I get emails or whatever from people from China, Japan, whatever, and their fans or whatever, And I'm like, wow, and now this was without social media.
So at what point we're here with Jesse James Leija, the great multiple-time world champion, among many, many other things. And people can come sign up if they want to take classes with you we have, today.
If people go to our Instagram, Leija Boxing and Fitness, they'll see our classes, they'll see the women, we have from 83 years old on to 6 years old. We have everybody in between, and we train them the art of boxing.
So getting back to that time when your dad...
Well, first of all, I want to say, too, both my sons, James and Dean, are partners with me in the gym, and everything we do It's through them. Everything I do is through them. We make sure we're a team that everything's getting done the right way. We have great trainers.
Right.
We have 8 trainers here, and boys and girls trainers, and they do great. It's about, we have a family name we've had for a long time.
Yeah.
And we want to keep it that way. And we have a name it's good in San Antonio. We want to make sure that everyone gets great training. Everything's clean. It's a family. We come home. It's a family because people come home. People come to the gym just say, "Oh my God!" Like I have a client who just left a while ago. He said, "I haven't been here." He hurt his foot. He's been out. He goes, "Oh my God, I miss it. This is home."
Yeah.
He just missed being here.
Yeah, and you get to spend a lot of time with your kids.
Oh yeah, I'm with my boys every single day. Every single day I'm with my boys, and that's a blessing for me.
But it's cool that you're hands-on. Like you're people aren't going to come to the gym and never see you. You're not going to be like sitting upstairs in an office somewhere. I mean, like you're literally out there blowing the whistle and keeping time.
Training. I'm doing mitts with people, with all my clients. Like, with the classes that we have, I'm out there. Unless I'm having private during that time, but usually when I don't, I'm with the class. I'm teaching the whole class myself.
Very good. We have a few more minutes here with Gamez Law. Talking about going back to that time when you said your dad's in the garage. He says, "Mijo, we should take you to the gym and see what you got."
Mm-hmm.
How soon after that did the two of you click and say, "I can actually make money with this. I can make a career out of this"?
So I started fighting as an amateur, and I was, I guess, decent. I lost my first 2 fights, though. As an amateur, I lost my first 2 fights, and I said, "Oh my God, this ain't the way I wanted to go." But either way, I'm still trying to, just stay in shape, right? So I'm boxing a little bit, just stay in shape.
Yeah.
And then I went to the Golden Gloves in Fort Worth, and I fought in the finals, and I had a guy there watch, Joe Sousa.
I remember.
Joe Sousa, the great cut man.
I remember.
Best cut man in the world. Knew someone there in Fort Worth named Lester Bedford, who was a manager. I remember
Lester, yeah.
Lester watched me that night, and he said, "I would love to be your manager if you decide to turn pro." And I said, "Okay, no worries." And I talked to him, and then I was done fighting, and we called Lester up about 3 months later. He came down. He talked to my mom, my dad, myself, and my wife, and he said, "James, you may never make it as a professional boxer because it's a tough sport. But if you keep your name clean and you have a good image, somebody may want to hire you when you're done boxing." I said, "Okay, good. It's easy to be a good guy. That's the easy. That's the easiest part, is being a nice guy." And so, 17 years later, I retired.
So, like, pardon the pun, but did you have to fight that misconception that sometimes people think as a boxer, oh, you must be a tough, unapproachable, intimidating guy, as opposed to a smart, like, savvy businessman?
Sometimes, people just think if you're a fighter, you're a brute or whatever. But I guess when they talk to me, they realize, oh, he's just a nice guy. I try to be,
Yeah.
I always tell people, it's so easy to be the nice guy. It's hard to be the rough and tough guy, the mean guy. You got to go out of your way to do that sometimes, right? For me, I don't know. I always tell people, I'm cool. I don't want to fight.
Yeah.
I get paid to fight. Unless you're going to pay me, I'll fight.
Yeah, you pay me, I might fight too. We have some comments. Abe Luna was on, and he said it's the best workout ever. But Phil Zavala, thank you again, Phil, for the shirt. He said that we were talking about Leija's.
Phil's my guy too.
Yeah, Phil. I told you, Phil. Phil got me this.
Phil's a good guy.
He was asking about the ladies' classes, just getting back to like your approach to training a female, a woman, as opposed to what you might do with a male.
I'm telling you, women train harder than the men sometimes. Women want to prove themselves. I always think they prove that they belong here too, and they could do the gym. Obviously, my women are tough. They do everything and more than men, and they keep coming. And I have women here do 3 classes a day. They're just tough. And I tell the guys, you got to keep up with her. She's tough. You better keep up with her. And women want to belong, and I give it to them. They work out hard.
I have such great memories. I told you, like the late 90s, early 2000s of the boxing scene in San Antonio, what was happening back then. And obviously I've been away from sports for a while, but how would you, if you were to like state of boxing in San Antonio right now, how would you grade it? And are there specific names or up and comers that you're keeping an eye on that people should pay attention to?
First of all, there's the state of boxing in San Antonio is great. We've had multiple world champions already since I retired.
Right.
There's been world champions. Bam Rodriguez is one of the best fighters of the whole group. He's really, really good. He's great. His brother Joshua Franco is a great fighter. I think he retired. Mm-hmm. There's been the world champions. Mario Barrios is a great fighter as well. and it's strong, and everyone wants to follow them and do what they're doing. And I think, I think that your young guy who sees, I can be like Bam, or I can be like Mario, I can be like James, or whatever. It gives people hope that they can do it as well. If people have hope, you could go forever.
Amen to
that.
that.
Have hope.
Well, I was going to mention, I mean, listen, Gamez Law, I mean, their marketing is, Gamez Law Fights. That's their tagline. But I know, like, that particular firm, they've gotten really involved with local boxers in the fighting scene.
They back up boxing 100% here. They do so much for boxing and for the sport and for promotions and fights. Because of them, a lot of fights are coming to San Antonio because they back up the sponsorship and promote. They're doing great, and they're good fighters too.
I've talked to Carmen Gamez, Joe Gamez's wife, who's told me, and I know Joseph, their son, does a lot of the marketing and everything. But I've heard stories about where young men fighters have come up to Mrs. Gamez or Mr. Gamez and said, "Listen, if it wasn't for you guys, you'd pull me off the streets, or who knows where I would have ended up." This firm quite literally saved them by turning to boxing, saved them from something bad.
Yeah, and I think so because. If there's no fights coming to San Antonio, these guys give up hope and they go and do something else.
Yeah.
And now that, Gums and other people that sponsor, there's a lot of sponsorships here in town, and other promoters that help the young guys get some fights. You can only fight, you could train for so long, but you want to fight too.
You ultimately want to fight.
You don't want to train for free. You want to train and get paid afterwards for the fight.
Amen to that. A couple more minutes with James Leija here, looking ahead. I mean, you're still a young guy. And I mean, you're 57, but really, guy, I think I'm going to check your ID here. I think you're like close to
I got a 5-year-old granddaughter.
37-year-old. Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, so you're in this stage of your life. You have one granddaughter?
One granddaughter, yes.
I mean, that changes everything, right? When she came on the scene,
from day one, it changed everything for my wife and for myself. It's like, wow, this is the next part of life, the enjoyable part, that I get to see my kids raise my granddaughter or our granddaughter, and my wife is like in heaven every day that she's with her.
And she's the only one, so I can only imagine how spoiled. I mean, oh my goodness gracious. That's not a terrible thing, though.
But, the best thing I love is she calls me Papa. And I'm like, oh my God. When she started calling me Papa, I'm
melt.
Like, Papa, no Papa. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah.
You ever bring her here?
She's here almost every day. And she's seen this, and she's seen she's in, oh my God. When she's older, no one will ever mess with her. No one's ever she's so tough, mentally tough, and she gets her way. She wants her way, but she's gonna learn she's gonna work out. She does boxing drills. She knows how to box. She knows how to punch. She's 5 years old. She's been doing this since she's been here since she was 2 or 3 years old. And so we're not gonna worry about her. I'm gonna worry about her dates or like
kindergarten class where she shows up and she's
she knows
hooks in.
She knows.
That is so cool. A couple more minutes with James here. So big picture, looking ahead. I mean, you've got the brand, the Leija brand, the gym, the classes and everything. I mean, what else? You got a long way to go, God willing. What else do you want to do?
Well, we're doing the boxing now, right? The fight night game.
Like you're a promoter.
Yes.
You're basically.
Well, yeah, we're bringing promoter and trainer, all that. And we want to expand the brand. We have the boxing gyms. We want to open one in the south side. I want to open one on the south side at Brook City Base. I want to talk to those guys.
There you go.
And I think it would do well. I'm from the south side, but I need to put one in the south side.
Yeah.
It just, making sure everything's right and everything's fair. But that's one of my dreams, to do that. And then maybe expand it, go to Austin or somewhere else and just open up more gyms. Because I think it's the businessman, the businesswoman. I want to just help them out. Just have them be their best selves and be in great condition.
Boxing's been around for what? How many? Thousands of years or whatever.
Years,
I mean, and it's still going strong and everything. But it's so cool how you can, I mean, it's a common thing. Not everybody is going to go to the Olympics or have a title belt or everything, but boxing universally, I mean, just it helps people be the best versions of themselves.
I'm telling you, it's one of the best mental stress relievers.
Yeah.
And I always tell my client, leave it in the bag. Whatever you have, leave it in the bag. It's okay. My clients are amazing, and I think they're just good people. Boxing training makes good people and great people. I'm telling you, if you come in and you work out, you become family right away. And everyone, we have parties or whatever just for the gym, and we have gatherings, and everyone shows up because it's family.
You're gonna need a big bag for me, man. I got a lot going on here.
Yeah.
I'm so thrilled for you. You know, again, I've followed you over the years, just covering you, you know, in sports, and just watching you do your thing and all of that. And I've gotten to know your kids and just your family and kind of see now just how you progress. And I just love everything about it. So
I appreciate it.
Really happy for you.
I'm happy. Like my wife is, you know, we've been together since we were 12 years old. We've been married now 35. Been together 45. And she's the backbone of all this, because without me being who I am, it's because of she's letting me do my thing and helping me do my thing too. And I always tell people, you cannot do well outside the house if it's not well inside the house. You cannot do great outside the house if you're not doing well inside the house. And it's like perfect. And so I'm able to do what I can.
I mean, she's quite literally seen you get beat up,
seen it all.
and among other things.
Yeah.
But it's just so great. That's another great story. Just the two of you,
since we were 12 years old,
have kept it together for so long. And man,
but that's part of.
Good for you.
I'm you know, I always tell people I'm the richest guy in the world. I got great kids, great wife, great granddad. What else can I have? That's what. The rest is just gravy.
There you go. Oh, man, still thinking of gravy from last week.
Not gravy.
Well, listen, hey, I enjoyed it, man. I know you got to get back in there and,
Yes.
and help change more lives, but I hope we can do this again soon. I wish you all the best. Please follow James on all the social media platforms. Keep up to date with the gym and what's happening here and just all the amazing things he's doing. And January is the
January
fight night.
13th, that fight at the
Techport
Arena.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Very cool. Good to see you, sir. All right, all the best.
Thank
Happy
you so
holidays
much.
to you and your
We'll see you
family.
soon.
Yes, sir. All right, there he goes.
Okay, I gotta go.
Jesse, James, Leija. Another appointment calling. One of these days I'll come over here and I'll hit the bag. I mean, 2023 has been a lot for me, right? So I could probably stand to hit a bag or two. But love everything that he's doing. His gym is here on Broadway if you want to come check it out. Okay, there you have it. A Monday Pickup Lines presented by Gamez Law Fights. And until next time, we'll have another episode later on this week. But hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. And until next time, Ernie Zuniga saying so long now for Pickup Lines. See ya.